Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this video, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. And sincere salutations to you hopeful elect Akim out there who are pushing this word in sincerity and in faith. May Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Rakah, Kodash watch over you, brothers, man. Shalom to the elect. Okay, so this is another installment of News plus Prophecy. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video. All right, and if this spirit has me to stop, all right, and go into a precept or something, then I will. Lord's will, this is edifying.
Tonight, Ukraine's president making a historic visit to Washington, D.C. President...
And let me just go back.
Breaking news tonight, Ukraine...
Wednesday, December 22nd, by the way. Or 21st, Slovakia.
President making a historic visit to Washington, D.C. President Volodymyr Zelensky welcomed to the White House today on his first foreign trip since Russia invaded his country more than 300 days ago. Zelensky expressing gratitude to the U.S. for its support. In the Oval Office, Zelensky presenting Mr. Biden with a medal from a soldier on the front lines. This evening, Zelensky addressing a joint meeting of Congress. Our full coverage ahead. Also tonight, the once-in-a-generation storm, an extremely dangerous Arctic blast impacting holiday travel. Nearly 100 million under winter alerts across 28 states. Governors declaring states of emergency. And are some Americans in for the coldest Christmas in 40 years? We're tracking it all. Former President Trump's tax returns about to be made public after a vote by a House committee. What the panel's report reveals. The University of Idaho murder investigation. Our interview with the police chief. How he responds to fears the case has gone cold. And my report on the mission to help prisoners adjust to life on the outside.
This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good evening. The symbolism could not be stronger. The United States and Ukraine demonstrating a remarkable bond strengthened by adversity and a common foe. Today, an Oval Office meeting between President Biden and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. The Ukrainian leader wearing the trademark fatigues that have come to symbolize his wartime presidency. His trip to the U.S. just one day after witnessing the devastation near the front lines of the war. 10 months after Russia's invasion, Mr. Biden pledging billions more in military assistance, including the advanced Patriot missile air defense system, telling Zelensky that we will stay with you as long as it takes. Zelensky using his surprise trip to Washington to thank the president and the American people for their support and to make his case for continued assistance directly to Congress in a joint meeting this evening. It was Zelensky's first trip outside Ukraine since the war began. A historic day in Washington, and it's where we begin with Chief White House correspondent Peter Alexander.
Tonight, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky before a joint session of Congress.
Ukraine didn't fall. Ukraine is alive and kicking.
Capping off a dramatic and historic visit to Washington. Earlier meeting President Biden at the White House.
It's an honor to be by your side.
This Oval Office visit, a defiant and daring show of solidarity.
President Zelensky, the United States stands with the brave people of Ukraine. We stand with you.
President Zelensky thanking President Biden, Congress, and the American people.
Thanks from our just ordinary people to your ordinary people, Americans. I really appreciate. I think it's very difficult to understand what does it mean when we say appreciate, but you really have to feel it.
Zelensky presenting Mr. Biden with a medal a Ukrainian soldier wanted him to give the American president.
He's very brave, and he said, give it to very brave president.
Undeserved, but much appreciated. Thank you.
Zelensky overnight seen arriving at a train station in Poland, later touching down at Joint Base Andrews for a red carpet welcome. after flying aboard a U.S. military plane with NATO allies at times, providing fighter jets as an escort, officials tell NBC News. His high-stakes trip the culmination of days of secret planning after President Biden formally invited Zelensky to the White House 1 week ago. The top concern, Zelensky's security, his ability both to leave and to re-enter Ukraine safely. This visit comes at a pivotal moment in the war. Just hours ago, Zelensky was on the front lines in eastern Ukraine, with Putin now trying to weaponize winter through punishing airstrikes on Ukraine's power grid, plunging Ukrainians into the cold and darkness. After Zelensky's pleas for air defenses, President Biden announcing the U.S. will provide a single Patriot missile defense system and will train Ukrainians to use it in a third country. Today's meeting punctuated by a clear personal connection.
His answer is yes.
I agree.
With Mr. Biden pledging more American assistance. The U.S. has already provided more than $50 billion in aid to Ukraine, with lawmakers about to vote on an additional $45 billion. But the top House Republican says he's skeptical of more taxpayer dollars for Ukraine, with America facing a possible recession.
Before the election, I explained to everybody, no more blank checks for Ukraine.
Zelensky tonight saying he's confident of bipartisan support and answering what his message is to the American people.
My message, I wish you peace. I think that is the main thing, and you understand it only when the war in your country. And I wish you to see your children alive and adults. We really fight for our common victory against this tyranny. That is real life. And we will win. And I really want win together. Thanks so much. Not want, sorry, I'm sure.
Peter, Russia is reacting to the U.S. sending that Patriot missile system to Ukraine.
Lester, the Kremlin says that will escalate the war. President Biden responds that it's a defensive weapon, and if Russia doesn't want Ukraine to use it, that it should stop the attacks. Lester?
All right, Peter Alexander starting us off. Let's bring in Andrea Mitchell now. Andrea, this is a short visit, but you could argue it could have long-term consequences.
No, absolutely, Lester. There are three big things that both sides were trying to accomplish today. President Zelensky wants to make a dramatic personal appeal and warn of a new Russian offensive, requiring even more weapons, as Republicans, as you just heard, are about to take over the House and warning that there is no blank check. The second big goal is to project solidarity between the U.S. and Ukraine as support wanes here at home and in Europe this winter. And the third goal is diplomacy. White House officials say that President Biden is not pressuring Zelensky to make concessions to Vladimir Putin. But as long as the U.S. gives Zelensky enough weapons to have leverage against Putin, they know eventually there has to be a diplomatic solution. And that's a conversation that really has to happen face to face. And today it did. Lester?
Andrea Mitchell, thank you. Tonight's other top story, a massive winter storm and extreme cold moving across the country, causing a scramble at airports just 3 days before Christmas Eve. Chicago and its busy O'Hare Airport in the crosshairs. Tom Costello is there tonight.
Wednesday night, and with snow already hitting a crowded Minneapolis airport, Chicago O'Hare is also running at full throttle.
We're going to steal them for a San Diego outbound, send them to Bravo 5, please.
Counting down, with the storm expected to slow air traffic across the region to a trickle within 24 to 36 hours. The Kappelman family among the thousands who decided to leave early for Florida.
We looked at our schedules and it made sense just to try to beat it and hopefully not have cancellations and deal with issues come Friday.
Airlines are waiving change fees and encouraging passengers to rebook if they can.
This is Flight 1865, United Airlines service to Miami.
Omar Idris runs United's O'Hare operations. This is exactly the kind of glitch you don't need this week, right?
The timing of the storm is challenging, for sure, but we're ready, we're prepared, we've got good procedures, good policies.
Nationwide, passenger volume is approaching 2019 levels.
We're expecting winds 30 to 50 miles an hour in Chicago and Midway starting tomorrow.
To keep the system moving, the FAA Command Center in Virginia has opened military airspace to commercial flights.
And you fucking people, man. Why don't you just stay home? I mean, damn. You know? You people are busybodies, man. Let me get the. I believe it's feet. Now you over here risking your life, to fly across the country to do what? Open some presents? Man, get the fuck out of here, man. That's how you know these people ain't right. Okay, it's got. So you got that Christmas demon. Right? Oh, we just want to celebrate. Right? And now look, you braving storms and shit. Just gonna start up from the top. Proverbs 7:1. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. All right, part of that is not celebrating these wicked holidays. Right, keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of thine eye. Bind them up, bind them upon thy fingers, write them upon the table of thine heart. Right, so have these in your mind. Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman, that they may keep thee from a strange woman, right? These philosophies, from the stranger which flattereth with her words, right? And what's some of the flattering words? Well, let's all come together, right? It's better to give than to receive. Let's yeah, especially Jake. Let's have a good time. Let's enjoy each other's company. You can't enjoy your fucking family's company, right? Brothers in this truth, man. You really can only be around your family for maybe like 30 minutes, and then they get on your fucking nerves. Even earlier than that, right? What kind of time does that sound like that would be? You with your family opening up gifts and shit. It sounds like hell. Okay. It says, verse 6. For at the moment of my house, I looked through my casement, and beheld among the simple ones, I discerned among the youths a young man void of understanding. Right? Passing through the street near her corner, and he went the way to her house in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot and subtle of heart. Right? And these women dress the same way, basically like just looking like a hoe. All right, verse 11. She is loud and stubborn; her feet abide not in her house. Right. So these people, right? These Babylonians, really, ultimately, they have the spirit of a harlot. Okay? Loud, stubborn, busybodies. Okay? Now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth and wait at every corner. Right? Like, once again, like a hoe. So she caught him and kissed him, and with an impudent face said unto him, I have peace offerings with me. This day have I paid my vows. Therefore came I forth to meet thee, diligently to seek thy face, and I have found thee. I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Right? So, it all glammed up. Okay? Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loves. For the goodman is not at home. He is gone a long journey. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. No, hell no. Hell no. If that happens, that's what you're supposed to be saying. Hell no. Right? If you got a woman that comes up to you, oh, I want to get with you. My husband is, he's at work. Now, hell no. She's supposed to be getting up out of there, man. All right. If you talking to a chick and she's like, oh, it's complicated. Hell no. Get out of there. Okay? Really, really, you just asking for it. You asking for trouble, man. Okay? He hath taken a bag of money with him and will come home at the day appointed. And with her much fair speech, she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips, she forced him. All right, just like these philosophies, strange woman. Right? Get flattering you with the lips, forcing you in. Well, don't you want your children to have a good Christmas? Don't you want them to smile? Don't you want them to be happy? Don't you want your wife to be happy? Don't you want to buy her things? Right? That's some of the flattering things, man. It says, he goeth after her straightway as an ox goeth to the slaughter. Woo! Or as a fool to the correction of the stocks, till a dart strike through his liver. As a bird hasteth to the snare, and knoweth not that it is for his life. Yeah, man, so that's an offense unto death. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O ye children, right, of Israel, and attend to the words of my mouth. Let not thine heart decline to her ways. Go not astray in her paths. So yeah, we're not supposed to follow these strange ass philosophies. Okay, for she hath cast down many wounded. Yeah, so hella bodies. You know how many people are about to celebrate Christmas in a couple days? Okay? You know how many people who are, so-called in the truth that are about to celebrate Christmas? Okay? Hey, man, you better get the fuck out of there, dude. Do what you gotta do. Okay? Get out of there. Okay? I'm working that day. Fuck it. It don't matter to me. Hey, do what you gotta do. Stay out the way, man. Cause shit, we at the time, excuse my language, but we at the time, man. Hey, this may be the last one. Shit, this very well may be the last Christmas that these people celebrate, man. So we really got to just stay the hell awake. Okay? But she hath cast down many wounded, yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to hell, right? Yeah, hell. Look at what Jake is doing, man. Jake working overtime. Jake been working overtime since last year to pay for some of this stuff, right? Their woman out of order, kids out of order. Everything is out of order. Right? Hell. This is the way to hell. And hell is a condition. So look at what you brought on yourself. Your kids expecting, iPads and shit. This is ridiculous, man. All right, it says her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. So once again, it's like that's why it said that earlier. Right? Salakia, Proverbs 7:22, he goeth after her straightway as an ox goeth to the slaughter. or as a fool to the correction of the stocks. So it's like basically you're leading yourself to your destruction, right? It basically you going down to the chamber of death, man. Okay, that's what these people are doing. These people are literally going down to the chamber of death. They risking their life, doing all this stuff, and for what? Right? You see how far people will go to go against the Most High, man? They risking their life. You gonna have people, out here driving and shit. They're gonna be driving across country 3 days, 2-3 days straight. It's crazy, man.
Alaska Airlines, the country's 5th biggest, focuses on the West Coast and is also navigating volatile weather. CEO Ben Minicucci.
We operate in the 30 to 40 degree range. You don't know if it's going to be rain. You don't know if it's going to be snow. So you always have to be ready.
You're right on the edge.
Right on the edge, yeah.
A lot has changed since last summer when Alaska was among the airlines forced to cancel flights and cut schedules as they struggle with the pilot shortage. Alaska has since signed new labor agreements and hired more pilots.
And we've learned a lot in terms of staffing and resourcing in volatile periods. So I think we're in a pretty good spot heading into 2023.
No repeat of the summer meltdown.
No. We're going to make sure that we don't let our customers down going forward into 2023.
Alaska is also rolling out new RF technology to speed the check-in process. Permanent bag tags. Customers simply touch the itinerary on their phones to the tag, which then displays...
Wait a minute. What's that? Hold on now. Okay. Now I haven't seen this yet. All right, I haven't seen this episode, so to speak, yet. So that, hey, although that isn't specifically the MOTB, right? That's MOTB-like technology. Okay, see, they slowly pushing you down to the chambers of death, man.
Here's the new flight information.
You'll show up to the airport, drop it straight onto the conveyor belt with an agent, and get on with your day.
Back here at O'Hare, we've already got 450 flight cancellations today, 5,000 delays today nationwide. Tomorrow, we're looking at 1,000 cancellations already across the country, and that's going to grow as the weather moves in, Lester.
All right, Tom, thank you. And with more than 100 million Americans under winter alerts right now, let's get the latest track on all this weather from Bill Cairns. Bill, where and when?
Yeah, let me take you through the winds first. This is my number one concern because power outages will be in the thousands by the time we get to Saturday. High winds across the country, but it's the Great Lakes to the northeast.
You hear that? In the thousands, man. Okay. Hey, this is the Lord doing this.
Could see 50 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. That'll result in power outages and even coastal flooding Friday morning in southern New England. The wind chill values are going to dip extremely low as we go throughout Friday morning. That's when we get the -6 in Dallas. Kansas City to Chicago, you're going to try to clean up that snow in -30 wind chills. The East Coast, it looks like Saturday morning is when you get your lowest wind chills. Atlanta at -4, New York at 2. The snow with the storm is not that impressive by standards of the Great Lakes. We will see some areas 6 to 12 inches, but if we get that snow and then we get the freeze coming behind it, watch out. Black ice is going to be a huge issue as we go throughout the day Friday.
All right, Bill, thank you. Let's get to the release of former President Trump's tax returns and new accusations that the IRS failed to audit Mr. Trump properly. Ryan Nobles is following this. Ryan, what are we learning?
Well, Lester, that may be the biggest revelation, that under the Trump administration, the IRS failed to audit the then president's taxes, which is agency policy. And they also show that the Trumps paid $0 in taxes in 2020 and then only paid $750 in taxes on 2 other years. Now, the reason for this lack of tax liability is because the Trumps claimed millions of dollars in business losses. Now, Republicans were very critical of the release of the Trump taxes, saying that it sets a dangerous precedent. But Democrats counter that this situation is unique, and they're now now pushing for legislation that would make it mandatory under the law that the IRS audit sitting presidents, and they're also offering up the resources to make that happen. Lester, we asked the IRS for comment, and they declined to do so. Lester?
Ryan, thanks. Also tonight, the former crypto mogul accused of one of the largest financial frauds in history is being returned to the U.S. The next question, will he be granted bail? Here's Kate Gutierrez.
Tonight, the one-time crypto king is heading back to the U.S. after agreeing to be extradited from the Bahamas. Former billionaire Sam Bankman-Fried faces charges including wire fraud and money laundering, stemming from the dramatic collapse of his massive cryptocurrency exchange, FTX.
This case is one of the biggest financial fraud cases to ever come through the federal court system.
Billions of dollars vanished when the crypto firm imploded suddenly last month. Bankman-Fried denies that FTX misappropriated customer funds when it made loans to another one of his companies, Alameda, a hedge fund.
I made a lot of mistakes or things I would give anything to be able to do over again. I didn't ever try to commit fraud on anyone.
Investor Rebecca Gallagher says she lost nearly $1.5 million in FTX's collapse and flew to the Bahamas to look Bankman-Fried in the eye.
All my dreams for my retirement are out the window unless I have some kind of restoration, and it's the same for thousands of other people.
A key question now, whether Bankman-Fried will be granted bail as he awaits trial like Bernie Madoff was. A former federal prosecutor says this case will come down to intent.
At the core of it, this actually isn't a case about cryptocurrency. It's a case that is as old as fraud is, which is a Ponzi scheme.
Bankman-Fried is expected to make his first U.S. court appearance tomorrow. Lester?
All right, Gabe, thank you. In 60 seconds, the murder mystery in Idaho. 6 weeks after the killing of those 4 college students, why the chief of police told us the case has not gone cold. That's next. All right, we're back now with a mystery that has kept a city on edge for more than a month. The unsolved murders of 4 University of Idaho students. Tonight, the police chief is speaking out about the frustrating search for answers to our Steve Patterson.
6 weeks later, the murder investigation of 4 University of Idaho college students seemingly stuck in neutral. No publicly known suspects or motive, and every week, questions outweigh answers.
This is a complex case.
Despite the public's impression, Moscow Police Chief James Fry says there is, in fact, movement in the case. He just can't talk about it.
Is there anything new in the investigation? What I can tell you is this case is not going cold. We're still receiving hundreds of tips daily. We are following up on those tips. We're still building that picture.
Police say one of those pieces is a white Hyundai Elantra in the area at the time of the murders. Investigators asked the public for help, who responded with thousands of tips. But hopes were dashed yesterday when police looked at a car matching the description and found it was unrelated. Another thread unraveled, the public desperate for any information.
I know that's very frustrating. It's frustrating to family members and the community, but our end goal is to bring somebody to justice.
That frustration in part leading to a surge of internet sleuths, online communities trying to crack the case themselves. Police say it's led to misinformation they've had to spend resources dispelling.
How much does that interfere with your investigation? I think rumors always hurt us in an investigation, but it's our job to go back and utilize our resources and to continue to vet those.
But 10,000 tips later, no arrest. Only hope from a community haunted by a killer still on the loose, and a pledge from their police chief.
We are committed to this case. We are committed to solving this case.
Steve Patterson, NBC News.
Up next, Price You Pay, Holiday Edition, how small businesses are counting on this season of giving to be a season of buying. A few days left for holiday shopping, and this season many small businesses are hoping sales will rebound from the pandemic despite inflation. Katie Beck now with the Price You Pay.
Customers at Red Barn Mercantile in Alexandria, Virginia can find anything from a card to a couch.
Did you guys have any questions about the rugs?
The eclectic small business welcoming a return to the register this season after feeling the squeeze of slowed shopping during the pandemic.
It was rough.
Owners like Amy Rutherford now hopeful for a comeback.
Thank you. It's been a nice rebound for us. I've got new customers coming through my door.
And for small shops, the holiday season is make or break.
We will do half of our business in the last 3 months of this year.
But now another pinch. Inflation. Higher costs to Rutherford and her customers.
Shipping prices and cost of goods, it's across the board.
While the National Retail Federation expects shoppers to spend between 6 and 8% more than they did last year, inflation accounts for most of that. 70% of consumers are taking inflation into consideration this holiday season, and about half are buying fewer gifts as a result.
In terms of shopping, yeah, I would say yes, actually. We did cut back.
I'm cognizant of where and what I spend money on.
But Rutherford says her spirit for small business survival ever strong.
I think she'll want it right there.
Working to lure customers with 11 decorated trees inside her store.
So my message to people is thank you, thank you, thank you for shopping small and shopping local.
The season of giving. This year also one of gratitude. Katie Beck, NBC News.
And coming up, how this bus is trying to provide options for those just released from jail. Finally, for those re-entering society after spending time behind bars, the world can be a dizzying place. But sometimes help can be waiting just around the corner. At this busy Bronx, New York intersection, a bus waits for some at risk of going nowhere.
We look for young people that might be coming home from jail, that might be involved in things in the street, or anyone who just needs help and can't find opportunity.
It's where 22-year-old Tyrese Nacho found himself after he was incarcerated.
I was just needing help to find some work. I just needed a job, basically.
The program is called Shifting Gears, a mobile outreach effort by the Youth Justice Network. The bus, parking in neighborhoods across New York City, outfitted with computers and other tools to help those newly released find their bearings. This is general help, or is it specific to finding a job, for example?
A handful of things. A lot of these young people who are justice involved don't have a support system. They don't have someone to make phone calls for them. They don't have someone to bring them to a DMV, show them how to get a license.
Messiah Ferguson says he was incarcerated at a young age. He now works as an advocate for others. How important is it for you to let them know what you have been through?
I believe it's very important so they can know that I'm not just someone just talking about something that I haven't been through. All the external factors that come into place when you're being released from prison or jail.
Under a different name, the program began its work inside New York's Rikers Island jail. Then the pandemic struck.
Because the jail closed its doors to all service providers. And that's where the idea of a mobile bus, since we couldn't get into Rikers.
Now, a safety net of workers and resources stand ready to catch those in need on the outside. It seems like the word has really gotten around about this here in the neighborhood.
We have to show them that there is hope.
Waiting at a critical crossroad.
It was basically right here. I mean, I walked past, they gave me a flyer, I signed up.
And that's Nightly News for this Wednesday. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'm Lester Holt. Please take care of yourself and each other.
Yeah, Jake ain't gonna have to worry about working and the rest of it, man. Okay. The kingdom of heaven is coming. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is coming. Okay, and an Israelite man is never gonna have to work again a day in his life, man. Okay, because we're gonna be too busy ruling. Okay, doing the things that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai wants us to do, right? Which is live in righteousness. Okay, having those perfect bodies, man. Just being perfect. That's something that we can't even, think about. Obadiah 1 and 21. And Savior shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. Alright, so if the kingdom is the Lord's, and we, are the sons of the living power, if we are the, the princes of the power, then, hey, man, then we get that inheritance. Which Lord's will, we're of the elect. Alright, you sincere brothers out there. Okay, and you few sisters, right? You fall under the category of the 1/3 if you are Israelite and if you are, of the elect. That's something beautiful to look forward to. All right, so with that, Lord's will, you're edified. Call halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. The water Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Ha Rakah Quadash. Once again, double honors to the elder apostle Gray Millstone who rule well and teach well. And the sincere salutations to you, hopeful elect Akim out there who are pushing this word in sincerity and in faith. All right, till the next video, Shalom.